What's going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and with me as always is John Rambo.
That's right.
For another edition of Smark Guys, our ongoing wrestling commentary show. And we got a lot to talk about this week. It is February 2nd, 2013. We just come off the Royal Rumble. We now see where they're heading for WrestleMania.
Now we see?
Well, we knew anyway.
Somebody saw this a long time ago.
We kind of saw this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But now the course is clear. And so now we will talk about the shitty card that we're actually going to see in person. Okay. So I guess we'll start with the Royal Rumble because that's going to lead into everything that happened this week on all the shows. The Royal Rumble, even though it had other matches, primarily only really 3 matches mattered. You had the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship, and the Royal Rumble match itself. The World Heavyweight Championship curtain jerked. Okay? Now keep in mind, there were other matches on this pay-per-view, like the Tag Team Titles match. No, the World Heavyweight Title match curtain jerks. Okay? And it's a last man standing match between Big Show and the champion Alberto Del Rio. And really, I don't have to say anything about this match. Because it all just kind of comes down to the ending. Okay? And the end of the match, the Big Show is knocked down, and Ricardo Rodriguez and Alberto Del Rio used duct tape to tape his hand to the bottom rope.
Yeah.
So he's not physically able to get up because he's on his back and his arms taped above his head like this. So they kick the shit out of him basically while he's tied up, and then they have the ref count to 10.
Yeah.
Now, I think you brought up a critical point about this that doesn't seem to make much sense.
Well, the problem is he's fully conscious. He can't get up, I guess, but when you advertise a match like that, last man standing, you expect to be a certain thing.
Right.
That's a stipulation. It's done for a reason. It's supposed to be a hard-fought brawl of some sort where one guy's completely decimated and can't get up.
Right.
And someone wins the match.
Or something happens and then he just can't get up.
So a lot of times they turn these things that are supposed to, you expect to be serious, and a certain portion of the fan base expects to see something, and they turn it into a comedy sketch or something silly, and that's what it is. And ultimately, it's pointless because they're going to continue this anyway.
You're right. Right.
So, which is the problem with the world title, like they just continue these matches, like
they go on forever.
You guys are just working.
That's true. The world title the past year. Think about everything it's gone like on.
There's only been like 3 feuds in the last year.
I don't know. So because of this, Del Rio retains. Whoop-de-dip.
Yeah.
Then
more and more of this.
It is important to note that the Royal Rumble was not the last match on the pay-per-view. Now they've done this before, but kind of.
I thought it would be. I was wrong about that. I was right about every other prediction on the show.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, kind of upsetting. Like people are like, "Oh, congratulations, you got every match right." But like, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, you want something to be interesting or different or a twist here. Or,
I mean, so no one should be able to predict the entire outcome of the show, and you can pretty much right now you can predict everything that's going to happen at WrestleMania, and half those matches aren't even set up on the TV show.
Right.
But you know who's going to win all the matches. You can see where they're going and who's going to win all these matches.
Right.
So that's not good.
No, it's not, because why would you watch the show if you know what's going to happen? So the Royal Rumble. Now, this was very interesting to me, because we all knew that Dolph Ziggler was going to be #1 due to the events of the previous week's Raw. But everyone was like, who's going to be #2? Will it be a surprise? Will it be, And we theorized a little bit about who it might be. Well, they end up doing exactly what they've done, and I swear to you, every year they do this with the Royal Rumble. They bring in someone who's a worker because they know that they'll work the whole Rumble, make everyone else look good, and then job them out.
Well, that's what Ziggler did too.
Right.
And I knew they were going to do that. Because why are they going to put him in first?
Because he can work. Right. They know he'll be there. He'll be actively working the entire match. He has great stamina. He can do an hour match.
Ultimately, once the people that matter get in there, then he's immediately gone.
He's gone. Exactly.
This is what happened. Yeah.
So who comes out as #2? Chris Jericho, the guy who we've already talked repeatedly about. He's the guy who always carries the Royal Rumble match. Doesn't matter if he's a face or a heel. He carries the whole fucking match, and then he gets thrown out at the end, and it's bullshit. He did the same thing last year, remember? Carried the whole match.
He was actually in the final 2.
Final 2, gets knocked out. This year, he's in it. I think he was like final 8 or final 7, something like that. He got thrown out at the end again. It's very frustrating because it's like, wow, Jericho's return. This is great. What does it mean? Absolutely nothing. They brought him back.
To me is like what a connection he has with the fans.
Right.
I was following the social media bullshit the entire show. And I was looking at what people were saying, and Jericho, people just go crazy for him. And you look at his last run last year, he really didn't do much of anything with him.
Right.
They kind of squandered him a little bit, I'd have to say. He put up some people over, which was good, but It wasn't like they treated him like when Triple H comes down, like when certain guys come down from like the heavens,
right?
Like, oh, this is God.
God is back.
And Jericho, they tend to treat him more like just like another guy.
Yep.
They don't really give him that treatment, but in the eyes of the fans, he is like that God.
The fans are rabid, rabid fans. They love him when he comes. So, oh, Jericho's back. What a surprise! No one expected this. Why?
People said that was the best moment of the show when he came out, and then it shows like how much people care about him. But the company itself pretty much just doesn't view him the way they do Triple H and some of these other people.
Right. Now, this is so stupid. This Rumble was dumb in my opinion, and here's why. Everyone who you thought might win the Rumble came out near the end, with the exception being John Cena. John Cena came out at number 11, but this is what I noted because I was paying attention to the whole match. John Cena got beat up like twice and just sat in the corner the whole Rumble.
Yeah, he's got to rest.
He didn't do anything.
He's got to take his breaks.
They wanted him to come out near the beginning because they wanted to act like, oh, he's been in there for a while, but he did nothing the whole fucking match. He just sat in the corner.
Yeah.
So compare that to Ziggler and Jericho, who are actually good workers, who have great stamina, who worked the whole match every 5 seconds. They were attacking everyone. Every new person came in, Ziggler and Jericho were on them. That's what they had them in the match for. But the guy who's the #1 guy in the company gets to sit in the fucking corner for the whole match. Yeah. So look at the disparity there in the way that the people are treated.
Yeah.
Okay? So then at the end of the match, who comes in? You got your Randy Orton, you got your Sheamus, you got your Ryback. Ryback was number 30. Mm-hmm. All the big guys who think we're going to win the match come in near the end. And they all go at it, basically. They're the last guys in the match, and then it ends up Jericho gets thrown out. Then they do this weird thing where everyone hits a spot, so it's like, Orton RKO's everyone, oops, Orton got eliminated. Sheamus roll kicks everyone, oops, Sheamus got eliminated. And then the final two are Cena and Ryback. Mm. To which, if you're a fan of wrestling, you're looking at this like, there's so many people who deserve it, so many people who should be in the main event of WrestleMania, and you put it to those two, and you're just like, this is where the company's going. Yeah. We want to sell merch. We don't care about the quality of our product. We don't care about an ongoing fan base. We just care about selling T-shirts. So,
and the big issue is like you could do the Cena Rock match anyway. If Cena doesn't win the Rumble, if Rock doesn't win the belt, it's not like you can't do the match.
Right.
It's not a draw anymore. You can still get to where they wanted to go. You don't help anyone in the process.
Right.
I thought the Rumble was better than last year's because I think they realized from last year like our roster is really weak, so they tried to book actual things happening.
Yeah.
Like they tried to actually book it instead of just you come out. They tried to do little mini storylines and things, and it was more entertaining. Ryback they kind of helped a little bit because I think it was like Sheamus and Cena had to double hit team him, so two of your top guys are like, oh shit, we have to team up against this guy.
Right.
But in the end, I mean, Cena wins, and
I didn't like how Cena eliminated Ryback. That was shit. Yeah. It was like out of nowhere. Oh, guess what? And it was funny because it looked like Ryback didn't know he was supposed to be eliminated. Because if you watch the clip, he's like really desperately holding on, and then he's like, oh fuck, he just gives up. And I was like, damn, maybe he thought he was gonna have a better spot or something.
Personally, I would never have him in that position because Cena's abused the roster. He's buried so much of the roster. There's only a few guys that he hasn't done it to.
Right.
Ryback's one of them. Another one's Cesaro. I think he beat him recently, and then throws Ryback out. So it's like,
That's stupid.
He's got to go over everybody that you have. Yeah.
So Cena wins the Rumble, and then the main event of the night was the WWE title match, The Rock versus Punk, and the match itself was good. The body of the match was good. But the rumors, and I don't know if you heard these, was that several times during the match when the camera cut away, that The Rock was constantly outside the ring resting and drinking water.
I don't know.
And I don't know if you watched Raw, but Punk even says that in his promo on Raw. I don't have to take breaks and drink water, but in the middle of the night, that was supposed to be like a shoot on The Rock.
Well, he's done it a long time. You can try to simulate it, I guess, but there's nothing like doing it. You know?
Right.
So I don't. If he's out of shape, I don't really fault him because, look, the company puts him in that position, and that's where he was.
We have a nice out of shape champion. Excellent. So
part-time champion.
The story of the match.
Yeah.
Punk is he's doing well.
Yeah, but I think that also feeds into what you said because people were like, oh look, Rock gave him so much offense. But I think he had to you could carry it by selling.
Right.
Against someone against Hogan, you guys would have to just sell his moves. But that was to make Hogan look good. But I think Punk had to do a lot of the offense to so Rock could just lay around and because he was like you said.
Yep.
He was a lot not.
So Punk does look good in the match, but then they finally come down to a spot where it looks like the Punk's going to hit the people's elbow. To which I'm thinking, I don't care because the People's Elbow hasn't been a finisher in like 12 years. Like, I'm not worried if he gets hit with the People's Elbow. But apparently now the WWE is saying that that's a finisher again. Okay, whatever. So
after the Shield stuff?
No, not yet.
Oh,
That's what I mean. I'm talking about initially when he was going to do it.
Okay.
Because when he was doing it, I was like, I don't care if he hits him with the People's Elbow. He'll kick out of that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he has to hit the rock bottom. But then the lights go out. And then the Shield, apparently, we don't know because the lights are out, grabs the Rock and beats the shit out of him, power bombs him through the announce table, even though we don't see it. It's in the dark. But all we hear is Michael Cole yelling, "Oh, the Shield is inches in front of us!
Someone's touching me! I feel fingers!
Oh my god! The Shield, they took my pants off!" So, the lights come back on. The Rock has now been power bombed through the table.
Yeah.
And,
a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were into the Shield. It seems like people love the Shield and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's at the point where it seems like they kind of advanced it on Raw finally.
Yeah.
But it's at the point where it's like aces and eights, where they just come out. You don't know why they're doing this, what they're doing. And one thing I hate about it for WWE, like at least with aces and eights, they would try to act like they didn't want them there. We had to keep them out of the building.
Right.
Like no one says anything.
No one stops the Shield.
They just go. And then even on Raw, Vince is pissed at Heyman. Why did you try to stop these idiots from coming out? It doesn't make sense.
That's true. So, the lights come back on, the Rock's knocked out, Punk throws him in the ring, pins him, 1, 2, 3. CM Punk retains his championship. But then, Vince McMahon comes out and says, "Oh, we didn't see it. Oh, you think we're going to pull a fast one? You know, no." And it's looking like he's going to strip Punk of the title.
Then Rock says no.
The Rock says no, restart the match.
Because you're not going to take it from him, I'm going to do it or whatever.
Right. So the Rock valiantly gets up and gets in the ring, and all of a sudden, he gets all his power back. Wow, I never got hit by anyone.
So this is the part that went wrong.
Yes, I agree.
Because here's the thing. He gives him one spine buster, he destroys it with the spine buster.
Right.
And then he does the People's Elbow and pins him. Now here's the thing, he has people, because I know people are going to say he has pinned people with the People's Elbow before. But when he goes against a top guy,
right,
like Austin, Hogan, even Cena last year,
they never lose to the People's Elbow.
Well, he beat Cena with the People's Elbow, but
that was different. That was a long match.
But here's the thing: he doesn't just do his spot and then just that's it. When he goes against top guys, they'll kick out of a rock bottom. They'll kick out of the People's Elbow. He's got to do multiple finishers to finally seal it.
Right.
But this was like a squash ending, basically.
Well, I honestly think it's because The Rock was gassed. He couldn't do anything else. He probably couldn't even have lifted Cena.
If Punk had kicked out of the People's Elbow, and then he just picked him up and gave him a rock bottom, that would have added a lot more.
I would have liked that.
That would have added a tremendous amount to it.
That would have made sense to me.
But he's never done that to when he goes against a top guy to just spine buster People's Elbow. That's it.
Right.
You know?
So it's a kind of a crap ending. The Rock's now the champion, and this leads into Raw, where CM Punk is irate that this happened.
And some people are really mad. People are sending me messages. I think they expected me to be really mad. But I'm kind of apathetic to it because you saw this coming.
You knew it was coming.
On Raw 1000, Raw 1000 they announced The Rock will face the Royal Rumble, the champion of the Royal Rumble.
And we already knew.
Later in that show, Punk turns heel. What do you think's going to happen? what, 5 months later? Where do you think they're going with this?
Right.
That's exactly what happened.
Right.
And even when you can go back even further to when they initially brought The Rock in. Why do you think they brought The Rock in? Mm-hmm. To feed him to Cena eventually. So he could eventually give Cena the rub in the end. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
And I think we even said that last year. This time.
We did. So, Punk's irate. He announces that he's going to actually do his rematch at Elimination Chamber. So I guess what this is saying is Rock and Punk will not be in the Elimination Chamber for Raw. They're going to have the title rematch.
I guess The Rock didn't want to work the Chamber.
Probably not. He probably said, I can't do that.
So why is that? Why it's always that the Chamber matches are for the belt, and now they just changed the laws, the rules.
It's not for the belt anymore. It's probably going to be for #1 contender or something. It'll be for something.
What I thought was funny on Raw was when Cena did his promo and he goes, I'm going to go, he decides where he's going to go. I'm going for the WWE title. I will face either the Punk or The Rock.
Right.
But they didn't. That's before they made the announcement that Punk will face The Rock at the Chamber. So it just was like, what?
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
It was weird,
So, alright, so just going through the matches of Raw.
Go through Raw.
Randy Orton beats Antonio Cesaro in a guest referee match. The guest referee was Miz. And by the way, I guess we should note this was Vegas night, so they had weird and really stupid stipulations for every fucking match, and it was just really a joke.
Yeah, this show had it had some really good segments and then some awful ones mixed in.
What do you mean? Like, you didn't enjoy the Ryback and Primetime Players Make Me Laugh challenge? I mean,
I love the tent size thing.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Bo Dallas, now this is important because we didn't mention this.
Oh, yeah.
In the Royal Rumble, Bo Dallas is a NXT member who won this like tournament to be in the Rumble.
Yeah. It was held at the Axis event, I guess.
Yes, and so he's in the Rumble. He actually eliminated Wade Barrett in the Royal Rumble, and then Wade Barrett got pissed and basically eliminated him from the Rumble, even though he was out of the match.
Came back out, yeah.
Right. So they decided that tonight Wade Barrett was going to have a match, and he spun the wheel, and it was pick your opponent. So he actually picks Bo Dallas. He says, "I want that idiot that."
That's IRS's son.
Who?
Bo Dallas is IRS.
Oh, IRS.
Mike
Okay.
Rotunda.
I didn't know that was
Husky Harris is his brother.
What the hell? Oh my god.
He's like a quarter of the size of Husky Harris.
Wow. You know what? And he does kind of look like Husky Harris.
Yeah.
I can see the resemblance there. Okay. So he's going to have a singles match with Barrett on Raw. What ends up happening is he's getting his ass beat the whole match, and then Barrett goes for the elbow, whatever they call it now, the bullhammer elbow, and he reverses it into a crazy power slam. It actually looked really good, this reversal. Slams the shit out of him and gets the 3 count. And then, of course, he runs away. Typical 1-2-3 kid.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That was the 1-2-3 kid.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, but like, you know, Wade isn't there like to be doing this yet, though. You know, he's not like, oh, you beat Wade Barrett. Is that even anything to beat him? Like, I mean,
I don't know.
Like, he's not necessarily like on a.
And it's funny because Wade Barrett was on a massive losing streak, then finally wins against Kofi, and now he loses again.
Miraculously wins like one match, you know, and then oh my God, you beat him. Is that even anything? Like, is he established enough that he should be losing like that?
Right.
You know?
Right. So, okay. John Cena has a singles match against Cody Rhodes. He beats him like in a squash. It's fucking ridiculous.
I saw they spun the wheel, and it had like the faces of who you're gonna face.
Yeah.
And it was Cena's, and then Cody's just like, oh, fucking job it. It was always like that's how I read his mind a little bit. Like,
right.
Doing the job again.
Fuck. And that was also when Cena announced that he was going to challenge the WWE Champion at WrestleMania, which prompted...
Yeah, but that was before, like I said, it was before they actually said the rapid-faced punks. It was like, what are you saying?
Right.
And then the Shield comes out, and this is an Aces and Eights moment. Like, again, with this, okay, and they beat down Cena, and then, like, each guy comes out slowly.
Yep.
It's like, Orton came out.
They couldn't all come out at the same time because they needed their entrances.
Sheamus came out. They all beat them down, like, individually, and then Ryback. And then Cena got up, I think, in the end. He, like, recovered.
He did get up, but he did. But then they beat him up again.
Yeah.
And then so they come out on top in the end with this beat.
Well, again, it was just like, okay, what is the point of these people doing this? And why are they allowed to do this? No one cares to stop them from doing it.
John.
All right.
Brodus Clay and Tensai. I don't want to talk about this.
All right, just don't.
They're in a dance-off.
I think they're going to be a team now.
A dance-off, and Tensai's wearing women's lingerie, and yes, they are a team because they later on main event, Tensai had a singles match against Jinder Mahal and three-man band kept cheating, so Brodus Clay came out and helped them, and at the end of the match, they both danced.
Okay.
So now they're going to be a team.
Well, it's like we always say with the WWE, like the big guys are monsters or they're jokes. So they tried the monster thing. Even though it was kind of like a joke all along.
Right.
But they go, that didn't work, so now you're a joke, complete joke. That's what happens.
Okay, so there's supposed to be Big Show against Del Rio in a body slam challenge. But Big Show decided to turn this into a...
People chanted boring when he was punching him. It went on for like 4 hours.
It did.
He tied him up, he kept punching him.
Yeah, he taped the bull.
Roberto was getting like raped for like a half hour, ripping his shirt off and slapping his ass.
Poor Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo.
Looks like a doughboy, beating the shit out of him.
For like 20 minutes, just slapping him. And then, why doesn't Ziggler cash in here? I know. He's like the way he's booked, he's like the biggest moron. He's like an 80s villain, like a high school movie.
Yeah.
And he's just an idiot. That's how he's booked. He can't ever do anything. He's not very smart. He's just a complete fool. Loses and
horrible. So basically, Big Show beats the living shit out of Del Rio and Ricardo, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're continuing this program. Caitlyn wrestles Tamina. I don't think we even need to mention this because it doesn't even end. There's just chaos. Because remember they had all the girls out dressed like Vegas showgirls.
That was not good.
It was awful.
It was a bad match. It was not even a match.
The Rock came out and was talking about the championship, and then Punk came out and interrupted him.
That was good. That was really good.
You know.
They set up the next match. They both had some good lines.
Right.
I think the best thing they could do now is because the rumor now is Undertaker may not be there.
Right.
Best thing that they could do is have Punk win it back, and then you go 3-way at
Triple
Mania.
threat. I could see that.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Cena's eventually going to win, which he is, you kind of had The Rock kind of put over Punk and Cena in 2 different spots. So I think that'd be good. I don't think that's what's going to happen. They're
Yeah, I know.
Him in there with
because that's the problem, right? Who's he going to wrestle if he doesn't?
They're going to stick him in there with who knows. I don't know.
Ryback, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll do. Yeah, maybe we'll lose the Ryback, because they still have to clean that feud up. I guess.
Right, and Ryback has nothing to do right now.
But if it was me, I would have Punk win at the Chamber, and then you do the 3-way, and then you have to have Cena win. So then there you go.
We had Sheamus and Damien Sandow in a tables match. Sheamus uses white noise to put Sandow through the table. Nothing important to talk about there. There was a karaoke challenge between Zack Ryder and the Great Khali. 3-man band came out and interrupted it.
I didn't see that. That happened?
Yeah, it did.
How long was that?
Too long. Team Hell No teamed up against Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho in a strange Bedfellows match. The entire match, all Jericho did was basically screw over Ziggler. And
he walked out.
Right.
And then Ziggler like Kane's right behind him, so he stands there, just like yelling at Jericho, like pointing at him.
Right.
Like knowing that Kane's there because he saw him. And then Kane just, like I said, he's an idiot. He's a complete freaking idiot, so he's booked and he just gets pinned.
Stupid. And finally, Mr. McMahon has a performance evaluation with Paul Heyman.
Here's the thing. I was confused by this because Paul Heyman, does he work for Vince?
I guess technically he works for the company or else he wouldn't be there.
No, he came in as he was Brock Lesnar's lawyer, and he was going to take over the company and all that. So he obviously didn't work for them then, right? He was going to sue. He was suing. He came in as Brock Lesnar's
I guess that's
lawyer,
a good point.
suing the company, and he was going to take over the company. Blah blah blah. Then he started hanging out with CM Punk, and I guess he became an employee of the company that he sued.
I don't know.
That he's suing? That was going to take over? They hired him?
So now he has a performance evaluation.
Okay, and so he's got a performance evaluation. I actually enjoyed it because like those two guys together, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a throwback to another time. It's fun.
So they show this clip, which supposedly was taken
ridiculous.
2 weeks ago. When, if you remember, we had mentioned last week that there was this backstage vignette where Brad Maddox had supposedly teamed up with Heyman, but it didn't seem to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're showing the rest of that segment, supposedly, where Heyman leads him to the back and has him get beat up by the Shield, who he openly admits he's been employing for several months.
Yeah, somebody was filming them
do his
talking
dirty
about
work.
this, and
Yes.
the Shield does what we told them to do, and you don't, blah, blah, blah. He has the Shield attack Brad Maddox.
Right.
So I thought it was actually good because it gives the Shield like a purpose and some kind of like...
Now they work for...
Okay,
right.
that's what they are. All right, great. They're not just... But like, yeah, like why is Vince... He's going to fire Heyman, but he's not trying to stop these people from running out and ruining main event after main event on the show. I don't know. He's about to... obviously he's going to fire Heyman. And then... here comes the pain.
No way! The guy who they're paying millions of dollars would actually show up for a show? I can't believe it.
He's back for a while now.
So yeah, so Brock Lesnar comes out unexpectedly. He has a stare down with Vince. Heyman tells him don't do anything, to which he picks up Vince and F5s him.
Vince, get out of the ring. That was good stuff. It added a lot to it, but he F5 Vince. Then they said Vince has a broken pelvis.
Right.
Then they said he has a broken hip.
Right. They can't decide what he has, actually.
Maybe Brock will put him in a wheelchair, then Brock will wheel him off the thing like happened to Kane and Zack Ryder. No, but then again, like it's cool Brock's back. People get excited. But you know what's going to happen? Now Triple H is going to come out and defend his, whatever the hell he is, stepfather, what is he, his father-in-law, I'm sorry. Pretty much his stepfather. And then they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. Right. Triple H is going to win, and Vince is going to get in the ring and raise his hand, and they'll both be gone again. The whole thing will be pointless. That's what it's going to be.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Very good. Alright, SmackDown. Not a heck of a lot happened on SmackDown. They did announce that the Elimination Chamber match will not be for the title. It's going to be a #1 contenders match. And so they basically are going to have a series of matches over the course of the night. And if people do well in the match, then they'll make it to the Chamber. So the people were Sheamus, Orton.
I doubt Sheamus or Orton got into it.
Sheamus, Orton. I'm trying to remember. They had. They didn't list it here. Why the hell wouldn't they list it? They didn't list the people who were standing in the ring.
Just go through the matches.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Well, you'll see. So actually, Ziggler says he wants no part of it because he already has the Money in the Bank. So why would I do this? Why would I want to be in the Chamber? So, which makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I would just lose anyway.
Right.
Why do I want to do that?
I don't know. So
I would be the first one out. So
the first match is Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
So Mysterio returning against Team Hell No, and actually Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio win. So now it's like, oh, Rey Mysterio was a former World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe he'll be in the Chamber. Who knows? But it's not. It's
Why
not
don't you
like
just have a
definitively
freaking
said.
tournament or something? What is this? It's
I don't
all.
know.
It's always got to be the GM's got to come by and they make everything.
The Great Khali defeats Jinder Mahal. So he might be in the Chamber. Of course he'll be in the Chamber. He'll be in it. You know, they're gonna
They
put
like
him
to
in
stick him in there.
They actually announced that Team Rhodes Scholars has dissolved. They've decided to dissolve the tag team, but they're still best friends.
After what, 2 months?
Yes.
Teams used to be together for like 5 years.
So Sheamus has a singles match against Damien Sandow, and of course it looks like he's going to win, but when he's about to win, the Shield comes out and attacks him, so he basically wins by disqualification.
Great.
Randy Orton beats Wade Barrett in a non-title match, so now he looks like he's getting into the Chamber because of that.
He gives him a receipt for the time you put him over, like we said, and then just beats him anyway. So.
Right. Of all people, Jack Swagger returns tonight. He returns, yes, and he says he's back. He's had time to
be in the Chamber.
It's right. He's had time to rethink things. He now has long hair that's slicked back, and he has a beard, a big blonde beard, and he wants into the Chamber.
So now he's Thor.
Yeah, he does kind of look like Thor. And he has a match with Kofi Kingston, and he actually wins with the ankle lock, because of the story is like he's beating the leg, and then finally puts him in the ankle lock. Yeah. So he wins, so he's going to probably be in the Chamber.
Did he go to England and do bare-knuckle fighting?
No.
Only to come back and lose a bunch of matches? All right.
They don't say...
Oh, wait, that was Wade Barrett's story.
They don't say what happened to him. He's just been gone. Del Rio, the whole night, was waiting in the parking lot for the Big Show to show up. So when the Big Show finally shows up, he attacks him with a pipe, and he beats the shit out of the Big Show, but the Big Show eventually gets away. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. But then it's announced that Del Rio has a match tonight. It's Del Rio against Dolph Ziggler. And it's a decent match, but guess what? Del Rio wins clean with the cross arm breaker in the middle of the ring. So basically, Ziggler does yet another job. And then at the end of the night, they actually show Big Show on the Titantron once again with Ricardo. He says, if you don't come back here, I'm going to destroy him, basically.
He's got William Regal on the other hand.
Yeah,
he's his ass for no reason.
He's got multiple people in his hand.
I don't know who that is. I'll give up anyway.
So what does he do? He KO punches Ricardo Rodriguez.
Did they announce who's going to be in the Chamber? Or
no.
We're still not there
So
yet.
next week probably they'll announce, oh, you won your match last week, so you're in it. But they were kind of showing who's going to be in it. So probably Khali, Swagger, Orton, Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, and I don't know who the sixth will be. Oh, Khali. There you go. So that's probably going to be the Chamber. And that's for the #1 contenders match. Okay, so now we have like literally 2 minutes to talk about TNA, unless we want to go over here.
It's up to you. I mean, I just want to say I think they actually did good ratings this week for Raw. They were over 5 million viewers for the first time in a long time.
Because of The Rock, of course.
And that's it. I think there's a disconnect with some of the fans. I mean, it's not really written for like fans of their show in a way. Like,
right.
For like real wrestling fans that even follow
for
them.
the next 3 months, well,
they got people that
now it's just 2 months left. But for the next 2 months, it'll be for people who are just coming back to watch wrestling
trying
for a
to get some
couple
people
months
back.
For The Rock.
Right.
That's all it's going
to be.
But
there's nothing really exciting. I don't see how you could say there's exciting things going on when you know where everything's going to go.
Yep. We know exactly what matches are going to happen at WrestleMania so far. We could point out like 3 of them already, and we know who's going to win. So
yeah, I mean, long term, and you look at after Mania, like a lot of these guys are going to be gone again. It doesn't add any long-term good things for you, and I think a lot of these fans are going to be gone too, especially if you're giving them, they're tuning in for the first time in years, and they're giving them head-side dancing in a tutu or whatever the hell it was. So,
not a tutu, it was lingerie.
But again, you can't get too upset because this is what they are, this is what they do. And I think people have to kind of get to the point where they can accept it for what it is and decide if they want to watch or not, because it's like, they should be doing this, fuck, and people are typing all kinds of wrong things, and that's not, they don't care about you. As a wrestling fan, you know?
It's over. That era of, you know, they don't care about the internet generation. They only care about people who buy T-shirts.
Yeah.
And that's
They want John Cena to be a celebrity, that they can put him on shows.
Right, and The Rock has 2 movies coming out. Right. One in February called Snitch, and one in March, G.I. Joe. So he'll be all over the news, too.
March just did having things go on Twitter, and people checking things, you know, watching it for 5 minutes, and clips, and all that. You know, then putting on a long-term, interesting, creative, intriguing show where you don't know what's going to happen and things. Those days are long gone at this point. So.
All right, I guess we'll very quickly adjourn and then come right back with TNA. You know, because we want to talk a little bit about it. Okay, we're back, and so TNA this week. I don't know, some weird things going on, some things continuing. They had some really random matches. I guess this was the night where you can call out whoever you want, and so it ended up having some really random stuff going on.
Open fight night.
Open fight night, right?
In the UK, I think it looked a lot better. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but From what I saw, it looked a lot better.
Right.
There's actually been a big announcement coming down there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
The Impact Zone.
Yeah.
Going on the road every week.
So Orlando is very sad now because now people cannot go to see the wrestling every
Well,
week.
you know what happens? Like, you run the same place every week. You have the same people that come every time, and it gets harder and harder to please the people because they see so much. And you raise the bar, and you always, if you never like go beyond a certain point, then they're not impressed with what you're doing, and so it gets really hard. It gets a little stagnant. You always have the same people viewing your stuff. So now they get to go out, and people that see it for the first time are going to pop. Like the first time you see something, not the 20th.
Honestly, I think their merch sales will like go nuts now because that's the thing.
It's going to be really good, and I'm excited because maybe they'll obviously come up here and probably run an Impact show.
I'm sure. Bridgeport right now.
I'm going to go, so that's exciting. I think it's really a great step in the right direction.
Right.
You know.
So results-wise, I'm trying to think like what major stuff happened. I know there was a mixed tag match. It was, who was it? Chris Harris teaming up with, not Chris Harris. Why do I say Chris Harris all the time?
James Storm.
I said it again. James Storm teaming up with Velvet Sky to wrestle Victoria and
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah.
And so they had their match. I know she's not Victoria anymore.
Tara.
Oh my God! I can't get anything right.
Don't worry about that. Man.
Anyway,
not important.
That was like a one match, and then there was Kurt Angle and Mr. Anderson having a redo of their lockdown match from like 2.5 years ago. And honestly, the match was good, but it was nowhere near as good as the lockdown match.
Yeah, like I was telling you before, those guys are, it's 2 years later, there's a lot of miles later. Anderson's not really lighting the world on fire right
And
now.
Angle even said that this might be his last year or two. Someone interviewed him. He says, "I'm probably the most I can do is another 2 years." And then he even said, "I am not going to be like these guys who constantly say they're going to retire and come back. When I actually say I'm retiring, I'm gone. Don't expect me on TV anymore.
I can see him doing.
I'm gone."
I can see him doing more WrestleMania.
Jeez.
I can see that. I think they would. I think they would bring him in for one thing.
Oh my God.
I can see it happening. If that's true.
Right. But I guess the big plot line here is with Bully Ray, how he had been suspended, and will Hogan reinstate him this week?
I think he's got to be on it now because like the way he says things is so like ridiculous,
Yeah.
I will do anything for you, Brooke. I think he's going to be the leader of Aces and Eights. I think he's trying to lure Hogan in pull him in, and then eventually destroy him. And I think that would actually be pretty interesting. I think it's going to be. I think you might see a Bully Ray Jeff Hardy match or something.
So he rejoins his brother in the Aces and Eights.
He's always behind it. I don't know. I think that would be a good thing to do. Because you're telling me that it's so outside of what the character would do that he's like so infatuated with Brooke and he's so worried about what Hogan is there or not.
Right.
So that's what I think they're going with it.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention about this the lockdown match was that finally. There was a turn. Eric Bischoff's son, I forget is it Eric?
Garrett.
Oh, Garrett Bischoff. That's why I always think it's Eric, because every time they say it, I think they're saying Eric, not Garrett.
Yeah.
So Garrett Bischoff and...
was it Briscoe?
Yeah, what's his first name?
Briscoe.
Wes Briscoe. Finally revealed that they turned. They were in Aces and Eights all along.
Yeah, I told you that.
I guess...
I told you that a long time ago.
Wes Briscoe, I guess, was the guy with the long hair all the time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was him, and then all of a sudden when he put like a mask on, I was like, wait a minute, yeah, okay.
But I mean, it's dumb because like they fought Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
And like they had matches where they like beat them and stuff.
I know.
And like even Bully, like he got hit with they hit him with like all kinds of stuff. But he's probably gonna be in it too, and it's like. So
yes,
like you're that into the story, like the plot that like allow these guys to beat you up so you can turn. I mean, all right, fine, all right.
I mean, there's a lot. Think about all the people now who are in Aces and Eights. You got Wes Briscoe, you got Garrett Bischoff, you've got Taz, you've got Mr. Anderson, you've got Devon, you've got Doc, and you've got Mike Knox.
They need that one guy. I think Bully would be that guy. That's like this is our guy that could potentially be the champion. They need like one guy that could potentially like hold the title because they don't have that right now.
So you think Bully will turn and then he'll be he'll win the
Bully,
title?
I think even AJ would maybe be okay with it, but they've done that with him before where he like turned and didn't really go anywhere. But I think Bully's going to be the guy. We'll see. That's my guess. I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's the gist of TNA. No, we didn't talk about every single match. I know Magnus returned and had a match because they were in the UK and all that. But
yeah, Magnus is good. I mean, I'd like to see him more. Doug Williams is really good too.
Yeah, I wish he was on the show, but I don't know.
That's sad. I mean, it's good they're going and they're leaving the Impact Zone.
That'll be good, I think.
One more thing about Bully Ray. I don't know if you heard of this whole story, this whole controversy, but there was this weird this is a weird thing to talk about. But Brooke Hogan was at, I guess, one of the UK shows. So some guy takes a candid photo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was almost like an upskirt shot, like some fan, and he was on the floor. He was she's sitting. It's her lower portion of her body.
Yeah.
And what happened was the guy tweeted it to her and to Hogan. Hogan retweets it, and he goes, "Oh, look at my daughter's legs, brother." And he was so people were start flipping out. This was on TMZ. This was on all these different media outlets. How dumb is Hogan that he's retweeting almost kind of an offensive picture of his daughter.
He didn't have enough problems last year.
I know, right? So then there's all these other photos. TMZ has these other photos where they're on the beach and he's oiling her.
Oh
her
my
back
god!
But the funny thing that came out of it is Bully Ray, he's such a pro, and he starts working it. Because, in the show, he's, in a relationship with her.
Right.
So he goes on Twitter and he starts going, anybody's saying negative things about the Hogans, you have to answer to me, and he's playing along with it. So I just thought that was really an interesting way to use the, something real, and then
And he twisted it into a plot.
Use it as part of the storyline that he's in, That's kind of funny.
Right. Alright, so that's it this week for Smart Guys. Now, we talked about this, and next week we may not have a Smart Guys, I believe. Because this week coming up, John will be here on Tuesday. We're going to start our co-op playthrough of Dead Space 3. And therefore, having you come 3 times in a week, Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to... Should we just skip next week and then do a Smart Guys? Well, actually, we can't do one in 2 weeks. I'll be busy, so...
I don't know. To be decided later. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to talk about it over the course of the week. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. Whether we do an audio-only Smart Guys, whether we do you want. I know you do your own wrestling show. We only did that a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that'll be not for 2 weeks or something. I think. I don't know.
Probably that Valentine's weekend would be perfect.
Yeah, was it the 16th?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm doing my show the 16th.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out what we want to do before that.
We'll figure out over the course of this week what we're going to do for the weekend next week for Smart Guys. Whether we have it or not, we'll talk about it and figure it out. But, okay, that's it for this week. I mean, this is all leading into Elimination Chamber. And I'm trying to remember, when is Elimination Chamber, actually? I guess that's a good, important thing to see here. I think it might actually be that weekend of, what? That's it?
Is it coming up that fast?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks, I believe.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Damn.
Elimination, yeah, it's February 17th.
Oh my god.
Crap.
So fast.
Yeah. So, I don't know what we're going to...
And then when is Mania? Mania's not for a while after that, isn't it?
No, Mania's April 7th.
Well, then there's no pay-per-view in March then.
There's no pay-per-view in
March. That's a good spread in between.
To build up to WrestleMania, right. So, I guess maybe we have to do something next week so we can at least talk a little bit more about the build-up, or else we're not going to have one until after the
chamber. We can definitely figure it out.
Okay. Alright, so that's it for this week's edition of Smart Guys. We'll have something for you next week. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. And that's that. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.